Hello everyone, my name is Jack. I'm the owner of Venus here. I'm going to be making you something a little bit that isn't too hard to make at home. It's chunks of chicken breast with peppers, onions. It's called Shish Taouk. It's a Mediterranean dish. I'm Egyptian personally, so it's one of the biggest dishes we have back home. You can serve it anyhow you want. You can serve it in a pita. You can serve it over rice. It's really simple to make. You just need some chicken breast, peppers, onions, and the Mediterranean seasoning, which we'll have later on the camera. Now, for you to prepare everything, we're gonna go step by step. Also, I'm making a little Greek salad, so you could have as a side with the platter. It's really delicious to have something like, you know, vegetables or greens at the meal. And I think it's all simple for anybody to make at home. So join us and we'll make something good for you.
Let's check it out. What do we do first?
Alright, so we are going to get some romaine lettuce for the salad.
Okay. Now Jack's been at this for a while. He knows what he's doing. I come here a lot, and I enjoy his great cooking. And honestly, I might have put on a couple pounds in the last couple months because of this guy.
He looks great all the time, trust me. I wish I could keep up.
Don't believe it.
Alright, so we have the romaine lettuce. I usually like to use romaine. It's the best for the salads. It all depends on how much you want to make. I mean, this is a good portion for two people, just one head. Save the rest however you want to save it for later on.
Right.
You want to take it, wash it, make sure it's all clean.
Right.
Now we have the tomato. I usually like to put tomato. We do like to put onion as well, but Tommy doesn't like onions.
I hate onions.
No onions for today.
Sorry.
No onions, we can't do it.
You don't want bad breath. Come on. Onions make you have bad breath, and who wants to cry?
Yeah, but if the lady wants it, make sure she has it.
That's more rationalization, right?
Alrighty, really simple. You're just gonna put the lettuce, tomatoes, onions. I usually cut the tomatoes like that in cubes.
Can you see that?
I'm gonna put it right there. Just cubes
Very
of
cool.
tomatoes.
You made it look so easy, too.
Yeah, it's simple, nothing crazy. So, honestly, the way to do it, after everything is nicely washed, I spread the lettuce, tomatoes, and then we're going to come back at it, add the feta cheese, olives, some pepper cheese, which all you could find anywhere, any grocery store. You could also buy the Greek dressing or any of the dressing either at Venus or any of the stores around, but it's really easy to find the dressing for a Greek salad.
So to interrupt you for a second, you guys do sell the dressings?
Yeah, we do. We make the homemade Greek dressing and homemade garlic sauce, and they're both available at Venus, but you could find the Greek dressing anywhere. The homemade garlic sauce is only available at Venus, something that we do here, but you could always get away with just Greek dressing for the date. You wouldn't even know. She'll still be happy.
That's a nice little tip. So you don't have to go and fumble around and try to make your own sauce. You can go and buy it from him and actually seem like a better cook than you actually are.
We'd love to do it. I won't say I did it.
Jack, what's the address and phone number for Venus, by the way? Just so they know.
3500 Main Street, University Plaza. That's in Amherst, and then there's one downtown, 452 Pearl Street, and that's downtown.
2 locations. So you got 2 chances to get this right.
And you could just get a hold of me by Tommy, or you'll find my information online. The email address is comeToVenus@hotmail.com. Anything I could do to help your day become better, I'm ready for it.
And there will be a link. So check out the link.
Great. So now I'm cutting the peppers for the Shish Taouk. We're going to come back and show you how to marinate the chicken. These are just the veggies, since I have the veggie board on here. You don't ever want to touch meat and veggies on the same board. You make sure, so once I'm done with this, I'm going to completely change it to a whole different board, so we'll make sure we're not touching anything contaminated.
Very good.
And now I got all the veggies in place. I'm just going to put them here on the side. I'm going to pull it away, and then I'll get the rest of the stuff. We'll come back and resume. Hello everyone, now I'm back with you with Tommy Champion again. We're just going to show you how to cut the chicken breast. Chicken breast is usually like this. You'll find it anywhere just like that in 2 pieces. Some places have the breast already split and clean, but if you don't have it, this is how the breast comes in. I just wanted to get a close-up so you can see. You basically cut the breast right in the middle. There's a vein right in the middle. You want to cut that. You don't want that because you can't really cook veins at all. No matter what you do to it, it won't go away. So now you have a nice cut right here. And then you got to clean this side right here. So all this right here is got to go away. it's just 2 cuts. You cut the 2 cuts and you have a nice clean breast. Now, that's a nice boneless clean breast. For you to do the shish taouk, you have to start with that. Depending how much food you want to make, I think one side, which is almost about 2 pounds, is good enough. But if you want to go crazy and just make extra, why not? You're marinating it anyways. I do always recommend that when you marinate, you leave it for at least a night. If you're in a rush, just leave it for a couple of hours. It still tastes good, but I always recommend so the marination goes right deep inside. Now you have 2 nice, beautiful breasts right here, all nice and clean. There's just a way to cut it. The way to cut it is just to make slices out of it about 1 inch deep. So once you end up with these, you just make squares after that. It's a great size for a shish taouk.
Now, what do you recommend people to marinate chicken breast in? What type of marinade?
We're gonna go with the whole marination for shish taouk. Shish taouk requires a certain marination, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll show everybody how to do it.
Okay.
So now if you wanna go back to
Very cool.
Alright guys, so I got here the seasoning. You should be able to find them anywhere. You don't have to get them in big size like this. You really need like very small portions of it. You got the allspice right here. You just need a pinch. So if you really can't find it or you don't have it, it's not really a huge deal, but a pinch of it does really go a long way. Mustard, just yellow mustard. I'm sure everybody has some at home. White vinegar, and then turmeric. Turmeric, you'll be able to find it also anywhere. Tops would have it, just a little bit of it. We'll go with the portion because we're only making a little bit, but only a little bit of these mixed together with some vinegar will just do the job completely.
And a lot of people don't know turmeric is actually just found out to be really good in fighting cancer. So it's actually one of the herbs you should probably take in abundance to try to help fight off cancer.
Shish taouk a couple of times a week won't be a bad idea then. A very light amount of salt would be able. I didn't put it here, but it just all depends if you wanna, have a little bit of salt, because the mustard has a ton of flavor in the turmeric. But if you want to add a little bit of salt to it and a little bit of black pepper, it won't hurt. We'll mix everything together and we'll show you how it's done.
Right.
All right, guys. We have Tommy with me here. We're almost done with cutting up the chicken. There's almost about 20 cubes in here, and I think it's definitely a great portion.
It's a lot of protein.
Yes, a ton, and I think it's good enough, especially when you add the peppers and everything. Now I have here. Make sure that anytime you touch chicken or anything, you're not touching anything else. So gloves, if you have them, will be great. Alright, so we got more gloves here. Now, for marinating, it's really simple. I usually start with the mustard, just it's in small portions, so I'd say 3 squeezes would do it, all around it. I do a pinch, just a pinch of allspice.
Not the other kind of Old Spice.
Oh, you gotta get that one. Yeah. You don't want to spray anything on this.
All right.
I put about 6 ounces of vinegar. Vinegar doesn't hurt. So if you have a little cup that you know the ounce to measure it, you could do that. And then just maybe about a 1/4 spoon or half a teaspoon of this. Which
that's
is
the turmeric.
Yep. And then you just add a 1/4 spoon of salt, depending how salty or however you like it. I personally don't put a lot of salt in my food, but you could add the salt right in there and some black pepper. Now you mix it really good. Now it's gonna get the coloring of the shish taouk.
Beautiful.
I mean, if you're doing a big quantity, you could always go online or email us, and I'll tell you exactly what you're trying to make. So this is the coloring. You want to leave this for at least a couple of hours before you do anything to it. As I said, I do recommend that you leave it for at least overnight, and it'll give you a great flavor. Alright, so that is done. We're going to let that marinate. So that's your preparation done for the chicken. And whenever you're ready to cook it, you cook it. So now, this is the final product of the Greek salad. I got lettuce, tomatoes, pepperoncinis. I have black olives. This is the homemade garlic sauce that we make here. You could replace it with anything else you want. I just think it's a great add to the dish. Now we got Greek dressing. We also make it here. You could buy it anywhere. You could buy it here. The dish is just missing onions. As I said, Tommy doesn't like onions, so we didn't put any onions right here. We're not even allowed to cut onions that come near.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but this is your Greek salad, and I think it looks amazing to present it first, or you could present it with the meal. But this is delicious. You could do the shish taouk right on top of the Greek salad, or you could do it over rice or anything else. We're about to do the shish taouk right now, cook it. I don't think we should, it's a hard, it's a big deal to like make rice, so I'm not gonna go over making rice. So, certain people like to make rice in certain ways. I personally make like plain rice and put the chicken right on top of it. So we'll keep the rice aside. You can make it anyhow you want.
And you can substitute wild rice or brown rice if you like.
Anything you want. So we'll keep the rice aside because there's so many options. But now I'll show you exactly how you want to cook the chicken and how it's gonna turn out at the end.
Awesome.
Alrighty. So now we want to be by the fillet. Alrighty guys, so we got the shish taouk right here. Let's say it's already been sitting for 2 hours in the fridge. Take it out, get a nice hot pan, and then you dump everything right in there. Alright, now I have it on high heat. You don't want to cook it so high. You want it to take its time a little bit so everything gets it's nice and juicy. We're dealing with chicken breast, so you don't want it to be dry. So now I got it a little bit lowered. I'm gonna get my gloves off because you don't want to touch nothing else with chicken. Now we got the peppers right here, depending. If you like a lot of veggies, go crazy with peppers and onions. They add like a nice taste to it. So you want to do that. And now I'm just gonna let it cook on low. Cover it with something, any lid that you have, because you want the chicken to be nice and juicy. If you keep it covered, you're gonna get a nice moisture chicken breast. So I'll keep that on low. And then I decide if you want rice, you want to serve it however you want. I will make a little bit of rice right now. But you can serve it how you want, so I can show you exactly how it's going to look at the end. All right? If you do feel like it's getting kind of dry, just add a little water to it. All right, and cover it because obviously it's under heat, so it's going to suck all the water. Now I have it on low. I have it covered. Take its time and cook. You could once in a while. So this will probably take about 15 minutes to cook under low heat. So every maybe couple minutes you want to switch it up. You want to mix everything around. I don't recommend putting the vegetables right away. I just put them right now just because we're cooking. But you want to cook the chicken about 10 minutes, then add the peppers to it, and then about a minute right before it's done, you could go ahead and add the onions because the onions will take like seconds. I usually chop the onions in like thin slices. You could chop them just like the peppers if you want in squares, depending like how big you want your onions to be. I know they're a little bit different than any other veggie. You don't want a lot of it, but some people do enjoy it. So I have the peppers here in big chunks, so they're not like they don't. If you overcook them, they won't taste right. So that's why you want to make them a little bit bigger.
Then you want them a little more solid, or you want the peppers a little softer normally when you make this?
So I personally like it. So some people do shish taouk over the charbroil grill. This is something to do at home. So you could actually skewer all these, put them in a nice skewer, and then charbroil them. If you have a charbroil that sits nice out and you want to cook out, you could do this completely different. There's so many ways to cook this. So if you're trying to do a charbroil, obviously you're gonna get like that very nice flavor. But if you're gonna do it right here, you want to put the peppers last. You don't want them too solid. You don't want them too soft. Like you're right in between. So I'd say 5 minutes right before it's gonna cook. So after 10 minutes, you add the peppers. Minute right before, so within 14 minutes, you want to go ahead and put the onions in there. So you could either do it in a pan like this. Let's say it's winter time, you don't have a charbroiler. You could go right ahead and do it in a pan. If you have time, you want to impress her, you're right outside. You guys doing something outdoors with drinking or whatever you're doing. You could go ahead and put it in skewers, charbroil them, get them out within once they're cooked.
Very cool. So you hear that? You can make it as fancy as you want to.
However much time you want to spend, it's all up to you. You could do it within 15-20 minutes altogether, or you could just take your time, get the charbroiler on, heat it up, and make the best shish taouks.
Now, I want to ask one question. How long does it normally have to simmer that way?
I'd say a good 10-15 minutes max, all depending. Like this is high heat.
Yeah.
Like the stove here, because it's commercial, it's high heat. Depending on what you have at home, but I think it's about 10 to 15 minutes. You could definitely tell once it's cooked. The best way to tell is to open up one of the chicken breasts right in the middle to make sure there's no pink inside. Once there's no pink and it's fully cooked, then the whole meal is all good. If you look, there's no more juice in there, like it's all the water evaporated. So just make sure you add a little more. You don't want to burn it. I mean, we're trying to impress you. We're not trying to give some burned food at the end of the day. So keep an eye on it. Don't just leave it and forget about it.
Now, I'm not an expert, but I've heard girls don't like burnt food.
I don't think they do, yeah. You don't need to be an expert. There's definitely not a girl that would like burnt food, especially when you're trying to impress. So if you look right here, as I said, I put the peppers a lot earlier, but the peppers are like pretty cooked. You don't want that. You want to put it right at the end, just so it'll be like nice and crispy, nice and fresh.
So when did you learn to cook, Jack?
Oh wow! I was 14, first time ever.
Wow.
When I first came from Egypt, I lived in New York City, and then after that my whole family moved to Jersey, which was like a ton of Egyptians there. I almost felt like little Egypt.
Yeah, it's great.
But God, yeah, I was 14. I worked at a pizzeria, started making pizzas. It was New York style pizza, which was great. It was kind of like scary at first, because like, how can I ever make all these huge pies? And before you know it, I was cooking like all American food, Italian, crazy stuff. And then, after a while, I loved it. I was just doing it naturally, just at home, and it was easy.
What I love about you've got to be one of the only guys in this city that can cook so many different types of food.
Well, I'm sure there's a ton out there, but you know what? I worked in so many places, so I was able to get a lot of experience from here and there. And I didn't work from I didn't work for franchises. It was more of like local Papa Mama stores. So I was able to learn how they make this stuff like the same way they do it back home, and which was great. I loved it. Knowing how to make pastas from scratch and pizza from scratch, sauce from scratch. These are the Italian stuff I make. I make a little bit of Spanish stuff. But what I really love, and I've been doing for so long, is the Greek and Mediterranean
Very
food.
cool.
It's very natural. It's something that I grew up on. So I will give you a lot of advices in that as much as I can. I won't go crazy with the other stuff, because I'm sure the Sicilians will come and hunt me down. So we'll stick with the Greek and Mediterranean to keep it this way.
All right.
This looks pretty good. Just made it nice and juicy. I put it on high just for me.
Now that's water you're putting in there?
Just water, yeah, just to make it nice and juicy, that's it. If you're working on the grill, if you're doing this over the grill, you just gotta make sure it's been marinated for a long time so it doesn't take time cooking.
So this isn't, just to point out to people, this isn't something you're going to be able to just put on the stove and walk away from. Like, you're going to have to watch it, and it's actually taking a lot of like judgments that you're making, just watching it by eye.
Yeah, no, I hope that at least if you're cooking, you know what you're doing. Like, you're not just trying to impress and you never cooked before. You do have like, you do have to have that, a little bit of you about cooking. Like, you should at least know when stuff are done and what it tastes like, So I wouldn't leave it. I would make sure that I check it. And as I said, this is just something simple to make at home in your kitchen. You don't have to leave outside or go anywhere. There are ways to make it a little bit harder and make it the way the restaurants make it. But this should be the simplest way to do it at home. Shish Taouk.
I'm sure all the gentlemen watching appreciate it.
She would love it. Yeah, she might ask me for a date.
That's what we're hoping.
So I personally will make it over rice. You could do it anyhow you want. Now, this is a good portion because don't forget, you have a salad also. So like, here's the chicken.
That looks great.
Nice and juicy. Right off there, so make sure your rice is nice and hot as well. That's a great portion right there.
That looks amazing.
Try to spread all the veggies around so like she's not just eating one chunk of something. Now this is that you could serve it like this if you want it like that. If you don't want the sauce, as I said, the sauce is only here at Venus, so it is the homemade garlic sauce. If you want to buy it, you can buy it from here. We do bottle it. If you want to just make it like this, it will still be delicious depending on how you want it. I personally go like this, just add the sauce to it, give it a nice kick.
Look at that.
You know, and then you could garnish the plate with maybe some paprika, a little bit of dry parsley or fresh parsley. But you could garnish the plate with anything like radish, which I'll make right now, and I'll show you the final.
Very cool.
All right, here we go, guys. So you got the Shish Taouk platter over rice. You could definitely make it at home. Very simple. The sauce, I said, you could bring it from here, anywhere you want. That would carry it, which will be Venus. Honestly, there's no other place would make it. But what I was gonna say is that you don't have to have the sauce. You could do it without the sauce. It's your call, as long as you make it nice and juicy. Now you have the Greek salad, which you could bring. You could bring out the two plates together. If you want to have the salad first, it's your call. Now the salad has lettuce, tomatoes, black olives. Add the onions. Don't worry about Tommy. And then pepperoncinis, garlic sauce once again from Venus, and then you have the Greek dressing right here.
Very nice.
Two nice plates.
That's pretty impressive.
You can make them any time you want. Very simple, not time consuming at all. And if you have any questions, as I said, feel free to either email Tommy on their email, or you could email us directly at cometovenus@hotmail.com. Enjoy.
Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
All right, now this is a meal that I think any woman would be impressed by. Thank you very much, Jack, for showing us how to do that. I don't know what else you guys can learn from this, but I know that I might need a couple more lessons.
He's good. He's good. He just can't cook with onions. That's one of the biggest things.
Well, if you're like me and you're not as confident about this whole thing, check out Venus, Greek, and Mediterranean. If you're here in Buffalo, New York, it's 3500 Main Street, University Plaza, 831-8100. The other location is 452 Pearl Street, downtown Buffalo, New York. Check it out. Maybe you can get one of the sauces, or maybe you can give up and just try to get the real thing and bring it to her. Who knows?
Yes, anything you guys need, just feel free to email us or call up for Jack, and we'll make it happen.
He's the man. Thank you guys for watching.
He's the man right here. He's making it happen.
Check out the link for Venus Mediterranean, and check out more footage from Refinement. Thanks for watching.